Bird of Prey 5. El Caruga. Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Caruga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Caruga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5 Cupla. And now I have the microphone working. Sorry about that. Let's start again. Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5 Cupla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, May 19th, 2023. The Real Queens, New York is the title for today's episode, because I watched a video, first woke up early this morning. I did Birdle, which we'll get to. I've been being called a cheater, but I didn't cheat. I will explain to you why I got Birdle in 1, but we'll do Wordle. We'll do Wordle today, since I didn't do Wordle, I did do Birdle. And yeah, it didn't cheat, but I got Birdle in 1. So we'll do Wordle, actual Wordle today. I don't know what it is. So please do not put in any Wordle hints till we get to that time. But early this morning, I watched this video, and it just, I don't know, it took all my emotion, or any great love I had for the day. It kind of sucked it right out of me. And I'll show you this video in a little bit. Honestly, for the last couple hours, I had been watching Anti-Druid of Jill's 400 subscriber celebration, which a big part of that was thanks to you guys who got her up through 400 subscribers last week. She's now well above 410, or at or near 410. So that was great. and she did her official subscriber congrats stream today. So it was good to be on for a bit and to listen to everyone come on and congratulate her and play some Star Trek trivia and all types of other things. That was what we were doing before I came here. Richie Poole was first in the chat. Richie Poole says 1 Vok. Mikey Suze says, here's for you, Bird O'Prey. Kapla, kapla, Mikey Suze. Mikey Suze was over there at Antiderivative Jill as well. And says hello to Richie. Richie Poole says kapla, kapla, Richie. Not Ryan Johnson says hello and kapla. Hail Karoga, hail Karoga. Richie Poole says, dear Bop, Bertle is so much more. Welcome to Bertle Pray 5 channel. Kapla, Richie, thank you. John Araki says, Bird survived the great quake of 23. Huzzah, yes. I woke up this morning also. I was like, Bob O'Brien, did you feel an earthquake? And apparently an earthquake at 2 in the morning, a 2.2 on the Richter scale out of Yonkers, New York. What do you say, Bob O'Brien? Yeah, it's not far at all. Not far at all. Maybe 10, 15 minutes north of me with no traffic. Certainly, probably would have felt it in my in the apartment I owned before my house. Well, I rented. The apartment I rented before my house, which was a 6th/7th floor apartment. It was technically the 6th floor, but considering the basement was the first level, it was an above ground basement. It was really more the 7th floor. And apparently earthquakes, buildings that are 7 to 8 stories, and I was on the 2nd story from the top, that the 7th level of a building is where you feel the earthquake the most, generally speaking. We had like a 3-point something in upstate New York or Canada or something. Maybe it was the one in Washington, D.C. It was a little bigger. But whatever it was, it woke me. I mean, I felt it pretty hard. Now, I've only felt a couple of earthquakes in my life, and they've all been on the East Coast. Now, for all the time I spent on the West Coast, I was never in California or Knockwood or Las Vegas during a quake. Now, maybe there were 3s or 4.0s, but out there you didn't feel them. In the East Coast, you feel a 3.0 easily. And yeah, upstate in the Adirondacks was the first earthquake I ever felt. It freaked it freaked everybody in the house out. Like, we didn't know what happened. We just know something weird happened. And then, on our 1980s TV set with rabbit ears on a UHF station with more snow, more static than signal on the channel, you could hear the emergency broadcast. And then going across the bottom of the screen, we got the news that there was an earthquake reported. And like, oh, now I understand why the couch moved, why the table moved, why the beds moved. Because this was a haunted house. Okay, this was a house we all took for granted was haunted. And we honestly believed was this some type of haunting event. It turned out to just be a minor earthquake, but it was weird. It was freaking weird. So that was the first time I was ever in an earthquake. And then decade later, plus, it was something similar. I felt it in my apartment, but a lot of other people didn't feel it because they were on ground level, and it was not as bad on ground level. Yes, Mama. Oh, yes, and there was one that we felt in this house. We thought it was, yes, we thought at the time, we thought it was Rebel, which was one of our beagles, under the bed. I blamed Rebel being under my bed for pushing the bed. It wasn't. It was another quake. So three earthquakes that I can remember feeling, all of them in the Northeast. And this one last night, 2 a.m, while I did wake up, I don't know why I did. I can't blame it on the earthquake. Not Ryan Johnson says Berto Bray 5 is looking for the real queens of New York. No, I'm not looking for the real queens. I'm saying I've got a video of the real Queens, New York, not Queens of New York. And I say this because I most of you know what Reddit is, even if you don't actually spend time on Reddit. I'm not the biggest fan of Reddit, but I occasionally do go there looking for things when I actually need real info. And so when I heard about the Strange New Worlds video that was trailer that was accidentally posted and then deleted from YouTube by Crave, the Canadian TV station, and I was trying to find an actual copy of the video, so I went to Reddit, and while I couldn't find a copy of the video, I did find a screenshot that had basically what I needed to see, which was what Boimler and Mariner look like in real life. The real life Mariner and Boimler. And so I saw that and okay. So I have some idea how they're going to look on Strange New Worlds. Anyway, I was on Reddit and I ended up reading a post about it was these young, I say young, 20-something-year-olds, young 20s, and they were asking, they're like, oh, me and my fiance, we came to Queens and we just love the vibe. We love the restaurants and the coffee shops, and we're just so into Queens. And he's still going to school. He doesn't make a lot of money, and the woman was saying that she's out of school and is working as a, I don't know, HR or whatever. And between the two, they're thinking they're going to be making like $80,000 a year, but they're not going to have any debt from school. That's all paid off, and that they want to get an apartment, but the cheapest apartment they can find is like $2,500. They don't want to live. They want to live someplace relatively safe and blah blah blah. And they're like, so they wanted to get the real answers as to where in Queens could they really find a nice place, because they don't want to live in the Bronx or anywhere else. And you had all these people telling them, oh, look at this part of Queens and look at that part of Queens. And I was the only one who went on and say, you guys, don't waste your money do not damn yourself. Do not come to Queens, the city. The city is in the spiral downward. Just we're circling in the toilet, waiting for the inevitable flush. I was like, if you're young and you've got some money, please don't waste your lives coming here. You will regret it. We're crime is only going to get higher. The city is only going to get worse. We're unable to turn away. The number of migrants coming in. There are already too many. The mayor is already threatening to use schools and public parks to house migrants. And none of this is going to get any better. Just like for your own sake, I didn't want to, but basically I wanted to sound like the Federation president in Star Trek 4, save yourselves, avoid the planet Earth at all costs, avoid coming to Queens at all costs. And I knew this isn't what they wanted to hear, and I knew I was going to get a lot of flack for saying it like that, but I felt that was the most honest answer I could give them. And then this morning, to see the video I saw, and I tried to show it to them, but I think I got banned from the Reddit for my honesty. It depressed me. It depressed me bigly. It depressed me bigly. Anyway. Mikey Sue says hello to Richie. Richie says kapla. Richie Poole says, Dear Bob, Bertle, and so much more. Welcome to the Bertle Pray 5 channel. I read those. Last son of Kay says, Kapla Bird, happy Bed Life Friday to you and your family. Hail chat. Nat Ryan Johnson says, Bertle Pray is looking for the real queen. No. Mr. Londell's groovy movie says, Kapla, Mr. Londell, Kapla, Sean PRK. And he says, Kapla Bird, hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you. Last son of Case is real queens, like Dylan Mulvey's Queens, or Freddie Mercury, and Brian May of Queens. No, and no. Dan Ben says, hi, welcome, Dan Ben. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir, hello, 47. Thomas Potts yells, Bird cheats, I didn't cheat. Sean PRK says, I don't doubt it. Yvette says, good evening, Bird, and everyone, good evening. The lovely Yvette. Dan Ben says, I saw the teaser for the new Futurama. Awesome, Dan Ben. We'll check out that teaser for the new Futurama in a little bit. Sean PRK says, from now on, it's going to be under one roof. We the people. And hello to Yvette. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, Kapla will be listening as I stare at the time clock. Kapla Gorilla. Sean PRK says, hello, world. Where is Bird? Says Richie. Dan Ben says, sound. Yes, I don't know why the microphone has a mind of its own. For some reason, it decided to turn itself off. It was working fine yesterday. There was no Windows updates. I have no idea. Sean PRK says, there we go. Hello, world. Dan Ben says, I hear it now. Mikey Sue says, Kapla. Richie Poole says, oh, there he is. Dan Ben says, why is Queens called Queens? Well, We have Kings County, which is Brooklyn, and Queens County, which is Queens. I don't know why. We have Bronx County, which is the Bronx. We have New York County, which is Manhattan. And we have Richmond County, which is Staten Island. The 5 counties, aka the 5 boroughs that make up New York City. Each county is also a borough. The county names are different than the borough names, but otherwise they're exactly the same geography. Data Saga says Bertle. Yes, Data Saga. Bertle is my own version of Wordle. You can get to it at bertlepray5.com/Bertle. I'll be showing it off in a couple of minutes. Feel free to go play it if you want. bertlepray5.com/Bertle, BIRDLE. Sean PRK says, Bertle Pray, June 1st is National Game Show Day. Come on down. I do enjoy a good game show. In the morning, The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal. Pretty much that's the only ones I watch these days. In the olden days, when Alex Trebek was still alive, I'd watch Jeopardy. These days, I do not. Fucking Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton had the gall to bitch about Ken Jennings. So apparently Ken Jennings is hosting Jeopardy these days, and Will Wheaton was angry that Ken Jennings wasn't honoring the writers' strike. And so Will Wheaton had something to say about it. He basically threatened Ken Jennings. He's like, we'll remember what you did here. You'll never work in this town again. And I'm thinking, Will Wheaton barely has a job in Hollywood. He had to probably suck dick to get his little ready room. God only knows what he had to do to get his little part on Picard season 2. They didn't even want him in Picard season 3. They got everybody back from the Next Generation except Wes. They talked about Wes. They talked about him. Beverly was like, oh, my space son is dead. He's not dead. They literally didn't even want to pay him scale. I don't know how much scale is, but it can't be that much. They didn't even want to pay him whatever the absolute minimum is, just for him to come in for one day and just say, hi, Mom, I missed you. I'll still be out there if you need me. Tap your shoes or whatever. No. Fuck you, Wes. Fuck you. We don't even want you on the show that created you. You're never going to be seen again. And you're the one that's going to come out and threaten Ken Jennings? No, Will. No, doesn't work like that. National Game Show Day. Yeah, Jeopardy. It's all Jep Nerdy is more my style now than Jeopardy. Jesus Christ, I don't even remember how to pronounce the name. Jeopardy. Without Alex Trebek, unfortunately, Jeopardy is a shell of its former self. Not because of Ken Jennings, just without Alex Trebek. What's the point? Dan Benn says, I saw the music video with the dog, which is being called the saddest music video of all time. I have no idea what that is, and I don't want to know. Richie Poole says, I'm guessing Bird's Birdle in one was Trump or fetus. No, it wasn't, Richie. And Yvette with a £2 sterling super chat says, fingers crossed for Kissing Dax for you all. Kisses.
It's a fake.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is not Kissing Dax. It's a fake. Low specs Linux laptop is in the house. Kapla, low specs Linux laptop. Mikey Suze says Jill's one of our greatest friends, and we heart her. Indeed. Star Trek Nitpicker says Kapla. What? There was an earthquake. Yeah, it didn't wake you up at 2 a.m. Nitpickers. Yeah. Little quake today. Dan Vance is glad I don't get off quakes where I live. It's quite windy sometimes. You know, we don't get a whole lot of quakes here either, but when we do, they travel quite a bit. Dan Van says, again, I'm glad I don't get earthquakes where I live. Can get windy, doesn't snow much. Mikey Sue says, I experienced one quake in San Francisco plus an aftershock outside Phoenix, Arizona. Interesting. Dan Van says, when Mom was younger, she lived in a residence workhouse. She thought it was haunted with a ghost who doesn't like to hear her current who doesn't like her current boyfriend. UK over the years had news. I've heard there's been small earthquakes in places like Manchester. And Dan Venn says, I use Reddit. I don't understand some posts and get a lot of attention and others don't. Yeah, well, some go, viral and some do not. Yvette says, Bird, I've only been in a couple of earthquakes. The biggest 3.2 in Blackpool 9 years ago. Dan Venn says, yeah, Crave posted 2 clips and they got deleted minutes later. All right. And there's some Kissing Dax. Dr. Scotty with a $2 super chat. I will give a try for a smooching Dax. Thank you, Dr. Scotty. You got some Kissing Dax. Dr. Scotty with that. Showing us how to do it. Dr. Scotty should buy himself a lottery ticket. So it's his lucky day. It's all of our lucky days. We should all buy lottery tickets. Star Trek Nitpickers. I'm working on a video with the Lower Decks crossover now. Very cool. I hope you were able to find the whole video. I only got the one screenshot. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, Bird, if you want to drag queens, I'm sure we can find plenty. I don't want drag queens. Nitpickers says, hope we can cheer you up. Bird of Prey, thank you. I wasn't looking to be cheered up. I was just looking to vent. Dan Van, I don't like how you can get banned on Reddit pages. Yeah, well, it happens. Mikey Sue says, hail, brother gorilla. Cinnabon Bunny says, hello, Cinnabon. Mikey Sue says, hey to Bunny and Dan Ben, who says hi to Mikey. Gorilla says, the earthquake loosened cord. And hey to Mickey. Mikey Sue says, Lowell, the earthquake loosened my connections with Jill too. Data Saga says Burrows. Burrows. Boroughs, Brough, the boroughs of New York City. New York City has 5 boroughs. Gorilla's Random Thoughts with a 4-month member chat was a friend of Karoga. Says, I only buy lottery tickets when Jill swears on her stream. Well, I don't remember her swearing today, Gorilla, so it's up to you. Dan Ben says, I live in the county East Sussex. There's no actual town or village or city called East Sussex. It's just the county name. Last Son of K says, shut up, Wesley. Absolutely. Ms. Lindell's Groovy Movies says, Will Wheaton did suck dick to get the Ready Room gig. I mean, you know he did. You know he did. If you Google, is Will Wheaton, the first thing that comes up is, is Will Wheaton gay? And if you click on it, a lot of things show that a lot of people search for that. And a lot of people say yes. Now, he's supposedly not. He is married to a woman, supposedly. But, I mean, I've read articles that says Will Wheaton is the first openly gay Star Trek actor. But if you go to his page, he does not admit to being gay. I mean, I just think that it's quite obvious the man is clearly gay, whether he admits it or not. You know, George Takei, yeah, okay, but I'm talking about next gen. Yeah. George Takei was in the closet for quite a while, so I guess he could have been in the closet when Will Wheaton was still a young actor on the next gen. I don't know when Takei physically came out of the closet, or technically came out of the closet. Captain Phantom Nerd says hello. Dan Ben says, my mom once slept through a storm when she was pregnant. I hope the storm did not get her pregnant. Mom will pray ran from a bear when she was pregnant with me. Mikey Zoo says hello to Captain Phantom Nerd. Captain says hello. Yvette says well done to Dr. Scotty. Dan Ben says if you want the same comment twice from me, that's most likely I deleted the first one due to error in it. Jedi Bill says Kapla, brother warrior. Kapla, Jedi Bill. Cody guy is lolling. Last Son of K says she's a beard. Thomas Bot says Bird just flat out ignoring me. Even if I at him, he is just like salt. What? I didn't ignore you, Thomas. What are you saying? I missed an at from you, Thomas. I'm going back up in the chat. I see an at from Sean. National Game Show Day. Another at from Sean. An at from Not Ryan Johnson. An at from Richie Poole. There is no Thomas Potts. You yelled Bird cheats without an at sign. And that's the last thing I said from you. So I don't see anything else. And I'm on Top Chat. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Okay, we're switching to live chat. Switching to live chat. Let's see. Sean PRK, National Game Show Day, Jedi Bill, Kapla Brother Warrior. Thomas, I don't see any @ signs. And Thomas is calling me salty Ofray.
Who's been holding up the damn elevator?
Miss Lundell says, so we'll doing the down low thing. And 205 donated $1.49 and says Will Wheaton is the first openly confirmed asshole of any Trek actor. I'm not going to argue with you. Cody guy is lolling. Miss Lundell, yeah, Will. The down low thing. Dan Ben says, I sent you information on Twitter about the info on Strange New World Crave Clips. Yes, that's the Crave Clips story has been out there, Dan Ben, but thank you. Thomas Potts says, I will just retype. Please do, Thomas. Please do. Mikey Sue says, did you see my last comment before this? The last comment I see from you, Mikey Sues, is a hello to Jedi Bill. So, and a hello to Captain Fandom Nerd. So, and then there was the lull, the quake loosened my connections with Jill. So those, I read all of those. The last one I saw was the one about the quake and your connections with Jill, which I read. Thomas Potts is Bird of Prey. You should record you doing Wordle and Birdle and then release it later in the evening. I don't really have a great desire to do that, Thomas. I don't think many people would particularly watch, but thank you for the suggestion, I guess. Does anybody want to see a recording of me doing Birdle or Wordle or both? I mean, I do them in the morning, generally. Well, I do Birdle in the morning. Dan Benz as well, you mentioned earlier one clip, so I wasn't sure if you knew what specifically the second one was. Gotcha. I mean, I read about it, but I never saw the second one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Birdle. If somebody wants to throw in a 5-letter word for Birdle, please go ahead and let me know. The latest update to Birdle, if you click on the question mark icon. No, I will do Wordle. Oh, right, excuse me. Thank you, Ramo Frey. I'm going to do Wordle, not Birdle. But anyway, on Birdle, if you click on the question mark on Birdle, I have updated the how to play instructions, and I've updated the example words, where there is now 3 different example words than previously in Wordle. So, yeah, I got you. But Wordle I did today. I got it in 1. Why did I get Wordle in 1? Because yesterday, Mamo Frey asked about the fact that I got, the fact that I couldn't get yesterday's Wordle. Mamo Frey asked afterwards, was that a word I put in, or was that a word that was already there? And unfortunately, I couldn't remember which it was. So I had to go back and look in the source code to see if it was one I had entered or one that was already there. And as it turns out, that one was already there. But I managed to accidentally see the next day's word, which then I remembered this morning and put it in and got it on the first try. So yes, it was cheating. I don't consider yesterday's or this morning's Bertle to be an actual Bertle. But tomorrow's Bertle, I have no idea what it'll be. So I will continue to do Bertle in the morning at some point. Today we'll do Wordle and Mikey Sousa's Wordle sounds good. And Data Saga wants me to start with sword. And Miss Londell says exude. So let's try sword first, since they were first to put it in. And there's an R in the wrong place. Mr. Londell says exude, but the D is already used. Stanley got Bertle in 5. Last on the case says, so you did cheat. Finally, you confess. I didn't cheat. I happened to see the word, so I'm admitting I did. And Stanley says Wordle in 5 too. I would use exude, but I really don't want to use the D twice. Is there some other word? Exude. Exhume. We're going to do exhume. E-X-U-M-E. Oh, that's not a word. That's not a word. Exhume. Enter. We'll do, oh, wait, that's E-N-T-E-R, but maybe was the X a letter we needed or not? We'll just try it. We'll try enter. No, yeah, because it puts the R somewhere else. Okay, so we get one E in the right spot. The R is still in the wrong spot. Okay, so we'll try R at the beginning. Let's see. A. It's not E. It's not ER. It's not ED. M. What? Maybe it's 2E. No, it can't be 2 E's. It can't end in EE. It can't end in ED. It can't end in ER. EY. EM. EIK. EIK. E-L, N-I-K, N-I-K-E-L. Is that how you spell nickel? No. No, it's L-E. Pickle. No. Okay, well, we have an I in the wrong spot. Interesting. I before E except after C. Okay, seriously can't end in I. So let's see. X. Chief. C-H-I-E-F. Ooh, okay. Well, we have I-E-F. Brief. Brief. Yes. Yes. No! God damn it. We're coming down to the wire. What else could be before? We're going to see grief. Grief. G-R-I-E. Grief. There it is. Grief. Few. Yes, few indeed. Okay. We got it. We got it. Stanley says, so Bird doesn't select the words. I do, but I forget. Stanley says, I figured he came up with today's. Today's what? Today's Birdle? Most of the Birdle words are original Wordle words rearranged. Mikey Sue's want me to do Rogue. Miss Londell got Birdle in 5. Mikey Sue says Exalt. Why waste 2 E's? Well, Stanley, a lot of words have 2 E's in them. So if you can see that there's not 2 E's, that is something. Stanley says it's painful when you know the word. Yes, it is. Mikey Sue's tried retro. Miss Lundell says think Charlie Brown. Mikey Sue's tried modes and model. Stanley says there's a chi in nickel. There's a C in nickel. Fair enough. Fair enough. There is a C in nickel. And Stanley says, wow, didn't know that was a word. Last son of K says, oh, good grief. Mikey Sue's tried spiel and spies. Stan says, oh, now it gets interesting. Ha ha ha. Cody guy says, good grief. Mikey Sue says, grief. Stan Lee says, Charlie Brown. Mikey Sue's put in the G. Not Ryan Johnson says, good grief. Bird cheats. Dan Ben sends a grief counselor. Mikey Sue says, nicely done, Bird. And Gorilla says, I gave up on Birdle today. I'm sorry, Gorilla. It was a, well, I guess the first letter. A hint if you haven't done Birdle yet today, the first letter is probably the hardest one. So make of that what you will. Okay, so here's the video. Here is the video. It's from Neighbors That Ring which is the Ring doorbell site. There's the link if anybody wants to watch it themselves at a later time. I'm gonna put the desktop audio on. Well, let me mute it first so I can put the volume up. This might be loud. So this is not terribly far from my house. It is Queens. It's actually a nicer part of Queens. It's not, I mean, I know you don't see parks and you know, you don't see multi-million-dollar homes, but actually these multi-family homes are probably $1 million homes because they've got 2 to 3 apartments in each of them that are 2 to 3 bedrooms each. And yeah, I mean, as homes go, these might well be $1 to $2 million homes. But regardless, you okay, Mama Frey?
Yeah.
Mama Frey's okay. So you can see the video's already started. There's an SUV in the driveway, and there's a couple of people working on it, and this is daytime. I'm guessing this is between 6 and 7 a.m. because the sun is up. At 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., it's already this sunny outside here. And they're working on this SUV in this person's driveway. And there's audio. So when I hit play, you're going to hear audio. You're going to hear a woman scream down, like, "What are you doing to my car?" And then a guy who has the gall to stand outside her door with a bar in his hand, like ready to attack anybody who comes out trying to stop him, is going to yell at her to just go back to sleep. And then a guy yells at him and heads up. He just yells up at him and calls him the N-word. Now, I don't think the person yelling is African American, and I don't think the person being yelled at is African American. I think it's just shitty language that a gangster thug wants to use to make himself feel like he's a badass. But regardless of this being an actual hate crime or not, it's just, this is what the city is these days. And it's just how nobody gives a shit. They don't care. They know nothing's going to happen to them. And they're treating people who are obeying the law like absolute shit because they know these people are obeying the law. There's nothing they can possibly do. If they call the police will take 5 minutes to get there, 10 minutes to get there, and they'll be long gone. If they go outside, they're going to get beat the fuck up. So nobody's going to go outside. They can't shoot. It's illegal. If, God forbid, somebody in there had a gun and tried shooting at one of these people, they would be the one arrested. If they managed to shoot one of them, the family would sue them for everything they have. And frankly, listen, as much as I'm a fan of the Second Amendment, I mean, look at what's across the street. More houses and more apartments. Okay, I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment, but I don't think it's safe for somebody to be shooting at these people from this house with another house behind them, right? I mean, let's say those bedrooms across the street. What if those windows were bedrooms for your child or your wife or your mother? You know, I wouldn't want, if Charlie O'Prey lived across the street, God forbid, and nephew O'Prey, sis O'Prey lived across the street. Fuck that. I wouldn't want, even if they were a quote, good marksman, I wouldn't want them shooting somebody with another house behind them. I mean, if you're in a rural area, sure. Second Amendment, get out your gun and shoot at these pieces of shit. If I was on the jury, I would never find you guilty. But considering the people here probably has minimal, if any, experience shooting a gun, probably very little, if any, practice at aiming. No, it would be a disaster to allow people to shoot at somebody in this situation. And that's the problem, is that there is no fucking solution. There's no solution to something like this. You can't have police. You can't have police that can respond quick enough, and it's just not safe to go out and do something. So anyway, I'm going to hit play. You're going to hear it. If you're not allowed, you know, if you're someplace that's not safe for work, if you hear a bad word, then mute or come back in a couple minutes. But just watch this.
What are you doing to my car?
Go back to sleep.
What?
Go back to sleep.
What do you mean to go back to sleep?
Yeah, you heard me.
I said, "What are you doing to my car?" And he yelled, "Go back to sleep." She said, "What?" He said, "Go back to sleep." And she said some stuff, and he said, "Yeah, you heard me." And now this guy's here. You got one guy under the car. You got two more guys. So there's four guys out here. And then the getaway car is this little car behind the SUV. And I'll be honest, it gets quite loud now for a bit as they're using a saw under this red SUV. It looks like a Mitsubishi or Mazda. I think it's Mitsubishi. As they are cutting out the catalytic converter. And the guy is looking, his mask, obviously. He's looking up, watching their front door, holding a pipe in case anybody comes out. Clearly, if anybody comes out that door.
Hey, shut the fuck up, nigga.
And then he just yelled, a guy just yelled down like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he yelled up, cursing at him and called him the N-word. And he's like, "Yeah, like, what are you going to do?" "Nothing." He keeps looking up, looking at the front door, like, make my day. His fucking friend down here with his fucking pants down under the car. I mean, the best thing to happen would be if this car fell off the jack and just fucking crushed this guy, and they all had to fucking run out of there and leave their friend behind. And he got out of there quick. They bring their jack. They now what? They throw their stuff in the trunk of the getaway car. It's not even the worst of it is about to happen. I mean, the worst of it. There's 6 seconds left. But watch this. They get in their getaway car. And the getaway car is modified to be as loud as fuck. It's not even a quiet getaway car. The getaway car has had their exhaust modified to be one of those really fucking loud cars. So it's not even like, oh my God, we're doing this in the middle of the night. We're going to be quiet about it. We're going to go in, get out, and sneak away before anybody sees us. No, they're doing this in broad fucking daylight with a fucking guy holding a pipe to make sure nobody comes out of the house. Nobody tries to be a fucking hero. And then there's a final fuck you. They don't even pretend to try to get away quietly. The car is modified to be 10 times as loud as it would otherwise be. As one final fuck you. That we took your $1,000 plus catalytic converter and you can't do anything about it. And here's a good fuck you as we go. As we don't even try to get away quietly. Like, yeah, we dare you. Tell the police. Show the police this video. They're not going to do shit about it. And why should they? Because even if the police spent their hours tracking these people down, they would only go get fingerprinted if they were lucky and be put right back out on the street. Because it's illegal now to hold them for bail, to require bail, because apparently that would make the entire city racist. It would make the entire city racist to put these people who are on video stealing thousands and thousands of dollars of catalytic converters from people who play by the rules, who pay their taxes, who don't have weapons, and just come in, we cut out what we want, and we fucking leave, and you can't do shit about it. And this year, they're cutting out catalytic converters, and next year, they're going to be coming in their house and just fucking taking what they want.
Don't even start with that, but that's what scares me the most.
I know, Mama Pray. It's exactly what scares us the most. Because you let this happen, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And we all know it. And still, what in the next door fucking neighborhood I go to, and people post shit like this, half the fucking people are saying you were racist for posting this. That, oh, if these people had money, you know, that they don't have money because the system is racist. Data Saga says, how come it says cheater if you get Bertle in one guess? Because you're pretty much a cheater if you get Bertle in one guess. How could you figure out in one guess? You're either extremely lucky or you're a cheater. And I would say 9 times out of 10, you're a cheater. So that's why it says you're a cheater, because you're probably cheated. Gorilla says NYC taxes them like they are multi-million-dollar homes. They are multi-million-dollar homes. For now, Gorilla says fast response there. I guess I thought closer to 45 minutes. I mean, you might get them here in 10 minutes, but that's still 9 minutes too late. This whole video is 1 minute and 26 seconds. Honestly, but it would take if I called 911 at the start, I would still be in the 911 menu system by the time this was over. Miss Lindell says if they called the cops and told them they had a gun and was going to shoot these thieves, the cops would be there quicker than you could bat an eye. Yeah, but the cops would let them leave, and then the cops would surround the house, and they would probably SWAT team and break down the door and arrest everybody in the house.
And search the whole house.
Search the whole house for weapons and arrest everybody. And then give them a bill for breaking down their own door. Meanwhile, the thief who stole the catalytic converter would be gone. They'd be laughing their asses off. Gorilla says that's why we don't live in a city. Ms. Lundell says Second Amendment rights don't end at the city limits. And I get you, Ms. Lundell, but there's also the fact that how do you balance the fact that if you shoot at this person and you miss, the bullet goes right into somebody's window and could, kill an innocent person across the street. Or, a child is even worse. But any innocent person, it could be an innocent adult. Or even if they don't kill him, I don't want to get fucking shot. I don't want my window shattered and glass everywhere. And it could fucking kill my dog because you were shooting at somebody. I understand the reason why there's laws about not shooting a gun in a crowded city compared to a rural area. Now, if they're inside your home, that's different. Fine. You have your own wall behind them. You've got an exterior wall, at least one of brick or something. You want to take your shot. You're risking it. That's fine. But if it's outdoors, no, I don't want bullets bouncing off of concrete and ricocheting off of cars and shit. Dan Benz's episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where this guy goes to shoot Buffy, but he's waving his gun around, it goes off. A stray bullet goes in. Okay, that's a TV show and means nothing. 47 Yorktown says this may do the job. A bow and arrow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to be really, really skilled to shoot a bow and arrow. Maybe a crossbow. I don't know. Last on the case is most large cities in democratic states don't care about thieves. Thank you, Antifa and BLM. And Mikey Sue's all this in broad daylight. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Professor Brainy Specs is here. Mikey Sue says, amen, gorilla. We live in the burbs. And that's what I tried telling this young couple to do. Actually, I said, find a small town. Last on the case is, yes, this is in broad daylight. They have no fear. There are no repercussions for their actions anymore. Arresting thieves is racist. Professor Brainy Specs says hello to Mikey. Ms. Lundell says, I live in Texas, and I will cap your ass if I catch you trying to steal my car. John Aragi says, NYC equal corruption. Sean Carter says, this is exactly why I left California and now live in Texas. Mikey Sue says, hello, Miss Lundell. I don't doubt you, brother. The Traveler, hey, Wes, not Wes, says, Bird, I'm driving to work but listening. Whose car got messed up? Nobody I know. Somebody maybe 3 miles, 3 miles from my house. The Nissan Rogue, is that what it is? I thought it was a Mitsubishi. I thought I saw 3 diamonds. The Traveler says, this is why you get short-range guns as well, or other means to defend yourself. Well, I mean, if I could walk, the only wrong, Mikey Sue's, the Traveler, Mr. Lundell, if I could walk, and that guy was standing out there with a pipe, guess who'd be coming through the door at him? And guess what I'd be holding? Not a bigger pipe. Not a gun. Don't want to shoot my neighbor across the street. A batleth. You goddamn right. You are oh my God, just give me the fucking, I would love, I would fucking have the camera set up, and I would fucking buy that car, set it up in my driveway, and I would sleep with my batleth in my garage. And I would have the video set up. And God help me, the day fucking comes that they come to take the goddamn catalytic converter. I've been out there with a batleth. There'd be fucking cameras on every angle. The lights would be coming on, and you would hear some serious fucking shit. Okay? You saw a wharf. Batleth to the fucking face. Ah! That would be me. And then I would probably get arrested, but I would have fucking lawyers, and I'd get out, and I'd probably have to fucking, pay off the family, but I would just declare bankruptcy at that point. Fuck them. I would ruin my life. My life would be ruined, but it would be worth it. Assuming I didn't have a family. And that's the problem. If I had a family, then I obviously couldn't do any of this. But if it was still me and I was still single, but walking, oh, I would live for something like this. Because fuck them. The Traveler would mess up their car. Their car would be the least of their trouble. Last on the case is Texas is red. New York is dyed deep blue. Everything to fight crime is racist. John Araki says it's not theft. It's just a late term covert abortion. That's it. I didn't kill him. I aborted him. The Traveler says New York needs a Frank Castle to punish those thugs. Mikey Seuss is granted and hello to the Traveler. Last on the case is New York, especially NYC, needs an enema. Thomas says he admits he cheated. Hakeem says plus some of the 9/11 dispatchers are useless. Yeah. Mikey Seuss has just found out the famous NFL RB Jim Brown, who starred in The Dirty Dozen, died today at age 87. Sorry to hear that. Captain Fandom Nerd says acceptable risk. Mikey Seuss says RIP. Jim. Sean Carter says people need to invest in a batleth. Yes, crime would go down if we had batleths. Mikey Sue says hello, Thomas and Sean. Sean says hi to Mikey. Miss Lundell says, okay, I can't have a gun in New York. What about a flamethrower? That's a good question. A crossbow is also illegal. Batleth, Mr. Lundell. Well, I have one. Dan Ben says, I know it's TV, but it happens in real life. If this was an episode of Blue Bloods, they would investigate if it happened to anyone else, then set off to find them, maybe go undercover or use a fake car. Yeah, actually, the season finale of Blue Bloods is tonight. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, don't lie. It would be a 12-inch dildo. Be funny as F to watch them beaten with one. While I understand that would be funny to watch, I'm not going out there with a dildo. I'm going out there with a batleth. Hakeem says New York City knife laws are stupid too. It has to be a 3-inch blade and it can't open fast. Yes, their knife laws are stupid, but this is a sword. Dr. Scotty says, Bird, we would do a GoFundMe to support your defense. Thank you, Dr. Scotty. Last son of K says, sorry, Bird, but if you even left the house, you'd probably be left beaten and bloodied in your driveway, unfortunately. It depends how many of them there were. I think I could take them with a batleth. I think I could take that guy with a batleth. Now, if they had guns, then, you know, you don't want to take a batleth to a gunfight. But if they did have a gun, at least I would make it to Sto-Vo-Kor. The Random Menace says, our thieves have at least the decency to do this after dark. Dan Ben, a member of the music band The Smiths, died today. Last in the K, because you're thieves, Joseph, actually fear being caught. Mikey Sue says, oh, what I wouldn't give for a phaser on those thieves set to kill. Well, vaporize. By not just to vaporize them. This fucking annoys me so fucking much. Look at this guy, especially this schmuck. Is he wearing, like, is he wearing fucking thin jeans or something? His legs look like a fucking, I don't know. He looks particularly thin and bony to me. Like, listen, obviously, I would never want Mamo Prey or anybody I know to go out there and fight somebody holding a pipe. But, like, I really think most people I knew could probably take this guy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, never would I want Sisso Prey to confront a man. But looking at this guy, I'm pretty sure Sisso Prey could take him. Yeah, I mean, knee to the crotch, and I think, you know, the thing is, you got to go run up to him so that that pipe, he doesn't get distance on you. That pipe can't do as much damage if you're holding him hard. And anyway, I don't know. I obviously, a guy stuck in a hospital bed is the last person to be trying to dream of a fight, but sometimes I wonder if I'm not in this position because God knew if I wasn't in this position, I would have hurt other people,
Boy, you would have gotten yourself.
or I would have gotten myself killed. That's possible too. It's something I seriously do wonder from time to time. Fucking anyway. So that's the real New York City. That's what life is like here. That's a relatively good neighborhood, mind you. I mean, there's the shitty neighborhoods where everything is far worse. This is a fucking good neighborhood.
Ah,
So the other thing I thought of doing was checking out where I grew up. Now we're not back to the very first place, but this is the house. This house here is the house I grew up in Canarsie, Brooklyn. It didn't look like that when we had it. It was similar, but it had a basic chain link fence. This bush was there, but it was only as high as the fence. There was a tree, couple of trees here. There was a big tree on this side. This whole extension of the house wasn't there. The house ended at the garage. But down this side of the road,
the fence is still there.
yeah, the fence is still there. This is a driveway, but for some reason people are parking in the driveway. I don't know why. This is a driveway here. There's a pool in the back.
Might be the same pool.
Well, it might be. It's probably the same pool. We had a shed on this side. It seems to be gone. Well, they cut this whole thing. They had to cut back when they expanded the house. This is the master bedroom they made bigger. This window is Sisopre's bedroom. This here was our den. Our dog would come running up to the window and bark at everybody. This was the garage where Dad O'Fray would work on his video games. On the side of the house here, this was also Sis O'Fray's bedroom. This was my bedroom window. I had the smallest bedroom in the house.
Until you had the whole thing.
Until I had the whole basement, yes. Until I had the whole basement. This was my neighbor's house. They had 2 kids, an older son and a younger son, older than me and younger than me. I played mostly with the younger one, although he was kind of an asshole and would knock down all my buildings. So I wasn't a fan. Across the street, we had friends who lived there until they left. And then Sis O'Fray's best friend moved in with their family. These people here were good friends with my parents. They had a kid. He was younger than me, quite a bit younger. I see they've turned their garage has been turned into a bedroom. There were neighbors here we weren't particularly friendly with. Then this White House, which still looks like exactly what it looked like for the most part back in like 1988. My friend, this was my good friend's, my best friend's house at the time. The house next to them were more friends, the family, like, they had 3 kids. The daughter was about my age. We're still Facebook friends with them. They were like the last people to move out of the neighborhood. They had two Dalmatians. They had 2 dogs, Dalmatians. They were good people. We knew pretty much everybody on this side of the block. About halfway down the block, it looked like everything changed. The trees got darker. I don't know. But like halfway down this block, that's where like we started not knowing anybody. Down here, this whole complex, when we first moved in, none of this existed. This was a pool club, swimming pools. There was like 4 or 5 big giant swimming pools and like a building here with I don't know. I guess it had a cafeteria in it and like a rental room and shit. Anyway, one 4th of July burnt down under very suspicious circumstances. And then they, even though the place had a 99-year lease, nobody could find a copy of it. And the property got sold to developers, and it was pretty much the beginning of the end. This whole area was underwater during Superstorm Sandy, and it's actually nicer looking now than it was just before Hurricane Sandy. They got all new sidewalks and stuff. It's actually pretty interesting. This was the old neighborhood. See, why can't I zoom out? Zoom out. So yeah, this is this area of Canarsie, if you will. This is the house. So this is like when I was a kid. This was like the bad place. You weren't supposed to go here, but this was through the weeds all the way up to the creek. This is what we called the creek. I mean, this was like nasty, dirty water. You couldn't get a full-size boat back here. I mean, you'd be lucky if you could get a little rowboat when the tide was high to cross. This was really more of a marsh than a creek. But yeah, one time some guy was coming down this street, this Seaview Avenue was a big avenue and there was a big to-do. The police were chasing him, and the kids weren't allowed out, but the parents were all out, and they all like chased the police to see what was happening. And the guy drove the car like right to this area, and then got out of the car and jumped in the water. And we all heard that he was naked. A naked guy swam across this awfully polluted, nasty. None of the cops would dare go in the water. Nobody wanted to go in the water. I mean, he was naked, but I mean, this here, these spots here that look all like nice and pretty now, these were landfills. These were literal landfills, open garbage landfills.
It was technically the Fountain Avenue dump.
Yeah, the Fountain Avenue dump is what it was called. Now they've covered it all up, made it look. This area was just weeds, and weeds and weeds. I went back and I found images from the 1950s, before these neighborhoods were built, right after World War II. The highway was here, but the neighborhoods weren't. But this area had been used for temporary housing, temporary World War II housing. And then, I mean, growing up as a kid, this was just weeds for us. We had no idea anything had ever been there before. I mean, homeless people used to make like things back here to like live in. It was not a place you wanted to be. Anyway, after we left, years and years later, they put up these baseball parks and whatnot. This Curtis Estabrook School, this was the elementary school. I went to PS 272. That was it. That's the front. Pretty much what it looked like then. Anyway, the interesting thing about it is that if you go back here, you see here, this is a housing project. Now, back in the day, this was supposed to be affordable public housing, but by even the late 80s, it was pretty much just what they called the projects. And let me tell you, they failed. As a project, they failed. Anyway, that was later. We moved to the other side of Canarsie. This is a two-family home. We had the second and third floors. The first floor was somebody else. Now this whole place has been redone. This is nothing what it looked like when we lived there. But the neighborhood, I mean, just house up against house, you know, it's what it was like. It was like living in Brooklyn. You had neighbors on both sides, 3 stories high. Across the street, again, neighbors on neighbors, houses butted up against each other. I mean, when Jesus Christ, trying to find a parking space here later in the when I was old enough to have a car, I was lucky to get a parking space within 2 or 3 blocks. It just would go on forever and ever. There's just so many people, and my uncle used to live like 2 blocks down and over, somewhere around here. You could barely tell one block from another. And finally, while we're in Brooklyn, this was where my grandmother used to live, and later cousin Dibs grew up here. This is Madison Place, older area, but when you look down the block, that's Marine Park, which one of the bigger parks in Brooklyn. Really nice place, relatively speaking. Still a relatively nice place for Brooklyn. But this house had been owned by my grandfather, my grandmother, for almost 50 years. No?
60.
60 years.
They bought it right after Daddy was born.
They bought it right after Dad O'Prey was born,
Right. They lived
1951. Right, that's right. They lived across the street. They lived over here. And they moved, they bought this house here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dad O'Prey was born in 1951. They bought this house in 1952, and they lived there through 2021, pretty much. 2020, 2021. It was 20. Yeah. Anyway, they sold it, but the new people really haven't done much with it.
Right after they bought it, the guy had a heart attack.
Whoever bought it had a heart attack, unfortunately. A lot of memories here. A lot of memories. All the family Christmases well, not all. A lot of the Christmases were at our house when we were young, but later Christmases and Easters and holidays, birthdays, and whatnots. Untold number of Sunday dinners, sleeping over as grandkids. Just a nice place. I mean, this is for anywhere else, this is a tiny house. But for Brooklyn, it didn't feel small. It didn't feel small when you were in it. Maybe it would now. But anyway. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Dan Ben says maybe if it was bullet resistant, like Wonder Woman's bracelets, Iron Man's armor, or Captain America's shield. Professor Brainy Specs is sad. Don't be sad, Professor. You don't live here. Dan Ben says, yeah, the police, they won't do anything unless something is happening, like he threatened to kill me or won't do anything. They're dead. Okay, we'll do something. Last on the case is they've already picked the shitty neighborhoods clean. Now they're spreading out. Dan Benz is the first house my mom grew up in as kids is gone, and there's a supermarket there. Well, that's unfortunate. Mama Phrase also is gone. They knocked down 2 houses, put up a 5-story apartment building. Mikey Sue says God took his 3 in a row again. Andy Rock, Bassett from the Smiths died age 59, then Jim Brown, and before him, wrestler, WWE Hall of Fame, Bill Graham, dead at age 79. Rip all 3. Dan Benz, as I mentioned, the Smiths guy earlier. Last on of cases, yeah, New York City's garbage gets shipped to the garbage, Garden State, New Jersey. Miss Lindell says thunderstorms rolling in my neck of the woods. Igor, time to bring me by creation to life. Mikey Sue says to be careful to Miss Lindell. Dan Benz says a long time ago, there was a train line through the center of my town that's long gone. It's been built on shops and buildings. People want that train line back, but with what's built now, you can't do it. Hakeem says the PJs, lol. Yeah, the PJs. Dan Benz says, what's a garden state? Also in England, we have a few garden cities. Last on the K says, Dan Benz, the garden state is New Jersey's nickname, so to speak. Last on the K says, Dan Benz, it's a rabbit hole. All 50 U.S. states have a nickname or motto. Dan Benz says, in England, there's a county called Kent. Its nickname is the Garden of England. Last on the K, asked Dan Ben, curious, have you heard of the YouTube channel Lost in the Pond? Dan Ben says, I've had chocolate cake, but not devil's food. I guess I missed that. Oh, because today is National Devil Food Cake Day. I don't know if I've had devil's food cake. I feel like I must have. Yes, I'll pray.
Think of a box of cake mix.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Duncan Hines.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't say chocolate. It says devil's food.
Oh, it says devil's food instead of chocolate?
Yeah, you have had.
Okay, so I've had devil's food cake. It's National Barber Mental Health Awareness Day. It's time to reverse the roles and ask your barber how they are feeling. No. It's National Endangered Species Day, a day to consider the dwindling populations of certain animals and work together to help. Maybe they're supposed to die off. What if humans were around when the dinosaurs were? Would we be trying to save them from extinction? And if so, how would that change our own future development? National Pizza Party Day. Pizza is the very definition of good time, and your options are plentiful. Celebrate your elected officials day. Fuck you, elected officials. How about that? How about that for a celebration? I should celebrate you? Fuck you. From your local council person to the president, celebrate them all today. Not in this fucking city, lady. Not in this country. No. Not this year. not last year, and probably not next year either. Frog Jumping Jubilee Day. Find out about what started it all. A day dedicated to jumping frogs. I just don't care. Hepatitis Testing Day. Let's learn about the hepatitis B and C and encourage individuals to get tested. Okay, don't learn about hepatitis A. Don't look up A, just B and C. It's Malcolm X Day. Malcolm X Day is celebrated on May 19th to appreciate the civil rights leader. Maybe it's his birthday. NASCAR Day. Enjoy the NASCAR event while also helping children across the country. National Asian and Pacific Islander HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. National Asian and Pacific Islander HIV/AIDS Awareness Day encourages people to get tested for HIV. But I guess only if you're Asian or a Pacific Islander. So guys, do we know any Asians and or Pacific Islanders besides Cinnabon? Cinnabon, it's time for you to get tested. We want you to be healthy, Cinnabon. It's time to get tested. National Bike to Work Day. This day aims to incentivize us to switch our regular commute with bikes. Don't do that. Only do that if you want to die. Only do that if you've got a death wish. It's National Chi Day. National Chi Day is here again, so get ready to honor your friends named Chi. Oh, I thought Chi was a thing. I have no friends named Chi. Not that I have anything against anybody named Chi. Just don't know anybody named Chi. National Defense Transportation Day. Commemorate National Defense Transportation Day by celebrating the ones behind the wheels. Happy Defense National Transportation Day to the truck drivers. National May Ray Day. What? With the change in the weather, check out how much you can make the most of May. National Mechanical Dry Eye Day. Learn how to recognize and treat the age-related condition known as mechanical dry eyes. That sounds painful. Hey, it's Plant Something Day. What should you plant today? Something. Plant Something Day aims to protect and add to the beauty of the environment. So just plant something. Maybe you want to plant an illicit drug. Maybe you want to plant magic beans. Maybe you want to plant a money tree. Whatever it is you want to plant it today. Virtual Assistance Day. Dedicated to virtual assistants. This is a day to recognize their hard work, dedication, and perseverance. So I guess by virtual assistants, they mean real life virtual assistants as opposed to virtual assistants. Walk Safely to School Day. Notice that there is somebody walking a bicycle safely to school. Join us as we encourage Australians, tiny tots, to dish the bush and walk to school. It's Walk to So Safely to School Day in Australia. It's a walkabout. You should walk about to school today in Australia. Be careful about the dingoes. They will chase you. It's World Family Doctor Day. And oh my God. Oh, okay. It's a little kid going to the doctor. I thought there were two little kids playing doctor. My bad. This day celebrates the importance and efforts of family doctors in global healthcare. And finally, it's World IBD Day. Get ready for some important information about inflammatory bowel disease and its impact on our lives. Yep, today's the day. World IBD Day. Mikey Sue says Arizona is the Grand Canyon state, and the California condor inhabits the Grand Canyon is endangered. Star Trek Nitpicker says Boimler and Mariner go back in time to save endangered tribbles in crossover. Epic Beards, it sounds like Bird wants to coitus politicians. No. Last on the case is when our elected officials actually start caring about us again, maybe we'll start celebrating them again. Maybe. Mr. Londell says Keely Chow. Antiderivative Jill says hi. Hello, Antiderivative Jill. Congratulations again on surpassing 400. Dan Ben says, isn't she like inside of your soul? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Dan Ben says, you get dry eye if your eye is watery. Epic Beard says, plant dandelions. It's just as easy as blowing a kiss. Keep it simple. I like dandelions. I know they're considered a weed, but their yellow flower, I always enjoyed them. And then they have those, they turn into those things you blow with all the little like cotton things. I'm a big fan of the dandelion. Antiderivative Jill says, speaking of illicit drugs, I have 420 subscribers today. Congratulations. 47 Yorktown says hashtag say no to Aussie Opry. Epic Beard says hashtag burn Aussie Opry 5. Get the pitchforks. And Gorilla's Random Thought says, do we get a fuck you elected officials day? I think we should. I think we should. Okay. Well, we're going to get to Dear Bop in a moment. I'm going to do a quick commercial break, and then I'll be back for Dear Bop. Sorry about that.
Do it up. Get that do it up feeling. Do it up.
Two great names in jeans do it up in style. With an exciting fall collection of denim and corduroy jeans in a rainbow of colors, Gloria Vanderbilt by Merjani and The Gap bring you the fit that stops traffic wherever you go.
Fall into the Gap.
Have a Gloria Vanderbilt fit at The Gap.
I'm Maud Adams. For natural flavor, I like Cot a lot, because Cot beverages are made with real honest-to-goodness fruit, like sweet, juicy oranges, tart lemons and limes, luscious strawberries and raspberries, and succulent grapes. 30 delicious flavors, including diet flavors, non-carbonated flavors, and the best root beer you've ever tasted. All natural, all great. Enjoy the good taste of Cot.
Natural tastes better, so it's got to be good.
Hello, I'm Charlie McKee for Electrolux. And this is an America that used to be. A time when companies brought vacuum cleaners to your home, because that's the best place to judge a vacuum. Today, few companies do that. But Electrolux still does, because your home is still the best place to see why Electrolux is better. So open your door to Electrolux. Electrolux, Your home is the best place to see why we're better.
Ohio, buddy. Wow, scrambled egg muffin, hash potato, hot cake. Wow! あれ大変だここかなこっちかよしここだあれもうおいしい笑顔マクドナルドみんなもおいでよ
I've been playing daughter roles for so long that people forget I'm grown up with kids of my own. I'm certainly grown up enough to know that soap can dry out your face, so I wash with Noxzema skin cream every day. Noxzema makes my face feel really clean. It doesn't dry, puts moisture in, makes my skin feel soft, younger looking. I've been washing with Noxzema for a long time now, and, well, so far so good.
Good skin starts with Noxzema every day. Greaseless, medicated Noxzema skin cream.
37 years ago, Club Med made a special arrangement with civilization. Send us your frazzled, you're crazed, you're beleaguered, you're burnt out, you're overburdened, you're tension-riddled, and we'll send you back a human being.
What's in this little blue egg that keeps Barbara Eden looking slim and trim?
Oh, there's only one answer to that. It's Legs Control Top Pantyhose. See, Legs slims and trims but doesn't bind. So you get comfort and control.
Stretching, bending, standing, sitting. There's one pantyhose that's always fitting. Nothing. It's a great pair of legs.
Great pair of legs. Okay. Sorry, we are back. We are back. Gorilla says I missed something, but it doesn't have at Berto Prey, but he says, does planting my foot in someone's ass count? I'm not sure to what exactly that meant. Last son of K says he wants AOC, I guess. I said I wouldn't turn her down. Mikey Suze equals Maud Adams, The Man with the Golden Gun, and Octopussy. Last son of K says she was also Christopher Lee's girlfriend in The Man with the Golden Gun. Ms. Lundell says Japanese McDonald's, absolutely. Mikey Suze is laughing. Gorilla says, Captain, there's a few good-looking ones, and they aren't Eames. Epic says, cool if I wear pantyhose. I can eat whatever I want and stay slim. Hello. Hello. Oh, well. I guess they did not want to talk. Barbara Eden equals whistles, lol, says Mikey Suze. National Planting Day, says Gorilla. And Dan Bez is the epic beard. Can also do that in England. You can eat nimble bread. Okay. Now, let's go and start with the Dear Bops. Dear Bop, if you like thinking about conspiracies and seeing them analyzed, I just found a YouTube channel you might want to check out. It's called The Why Files. It breaks down different conspiracies, looks at them from all angles, and presents why it would not work. It's interesting, and there's entertaining sidekick named Hecklefish. It's much better than Harvey Cthulhu. Check it out. It's been on a regular rotation lately for me. Actually, I am familiar with the Y files. They do have a sidekick that's a goldfish, but he is vastly inferior to Harvey Cthulhu. And to be completely honest, I am not that big of a fan. They had a chance to show me that they had, you know, that they were telling both sides of the story, or that they were anything but a place to just spread stupid conspiracy theories. And every time they had the opportunity to do so, they failed. They failed. The Mars, the face on Mars, quote unquote face on Mars cover up, they gave zero of the other side of the story. They didn't show any of the pictures taken later that don't show the face on Mars. They talk about later pictures, but then they say that the pictures were never found, which is bullshit. I don't know if there's a face on Mars or not, but I know that this guy wasn't even close to giving an honest and balanced answer on the facts. He's, he really doesn't think we landed on the moon. It's a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. So no, I have zero fucks to give about the Y files. I tried it. I really was interested, but that guy is just a conspiracy theorist. He is not particularly interested in debunking any conspiracies. Dear Bob, opinion on Tom Hanks' AI. I have no idea what this is. I could appear in movies after death with AI technology. BBC News, I could be hit by a bus tomorrow, but performances can go on and on and on. Tom Hanks said his career could continue long after his death with the help of artificial intelligence. Forrest Gump and Castaway actor believes technology could be used to recreate his image, ensuring his appearance in movies from now until Kingdom Come. Anybody can recreate themselves at any age. Well, these are factual statements. There is enough video of Tom Hanks that with current and certainly future AI technology, you would be able to make a movie with, a character that looks like Tom Hanks playing a lead role. That's just a matter of fact. Whether it will actually ever happen or not, that's going to depend on financial and legal things. I don't know what the question is here. There is no question. Opinion on Tom Hanks's AI? Yes, my opinion is he's absolutely right. There's nothing stopping it. Technology-wise, there's nothing stopping it. Do I want that to happen? No. No, I really don't. I mean, if they go ahead with it, then there really don't ever need to be any actors. Maybe that's the way movies will be made in 25 years from now. You won't need to hire actors at all. All your actors will just be computer generated. And you won't need set designers. You won't need cameramen. You won't need studios. It'll all be done digitally. I mean, it's all possible. It's all possible. It just needs time. So I hope they don't go that direction. I think we would lose something. If that happened. But it's possible. Dear Bob, in Star Trek, The Search for Spock, the Klingon blows up the ship with the female in it because she had seen the data he wanted. Could you explain why he did that? She calls him my love and seems okay that he's going to kill her. Could he not have transported her on board? And they go together. It could have something to do with him wanting it for himself. He killed the guy when he blew up the Grissom instead of disabling. When the Enterprise bridge blows up, he tells his crew to get out of there. Didn't want them to die, but he threatened to kill others at times. Yeah, it was a little stupid. It was a lot stupid. For whatever reason, in Star Trek 3, it's like the Genesis secret is so big that he was the only one who should have had knowledge of it. Or, that's what he felt. So the fact that his girlfriend or his wife or whatever she was, his love, that she knew the quote unquote secret of Genesis, she had to die. And she knew she had to die because he didn't want her knowing it for whatever reason, and she was okay with that. So yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I can't make sense of it. As for him not wanting to lose his crew, that was the majority of his crew. It's one thing if he kills one of them to set a lesson for the rest, but you don't want to lose, 10 guys. If your crew is 12 people and you lose 10 guys at once, that's too much to lose. If your crew is 12 guys and you shoot one or two to make the other 10 or 11 pay more attention, that's I'm not gonna say it's a smart move, but I can understand it. Yeah. Get out of there. I mean, that was really, what get out of there? He should have just told somebody to transport them out. How were they going to get out? That didn't make any sense. He should have yelled to the transporter. Somebody should have yelled, transport them out of there. But that's just not dramatic. Dear Bob, you son of a bitch, I took your advice on getting a goat instead of a lawnmower, and now I have a huge fine for having livestock within city limits. You son of a bitch. Well, I never said you should admit to having the goats. Don't just say you don't know where the goats came from. They're not your goats. And the city will take care of the goats. They'll take the goats back. Dear Bob, how can I politely tell my Indian coworker his food smells like shit and it's stinking up the break room? The best way for this is probably an anonymous note. Now you have to be very careful. You don't want to appear in any way to make this seem like a hate crime. You should write a note, says, dear coworker, I've noticed your food often uses spices and ingredients which I find extremely offensive. I understand that you may be used to these smells, but not everyone is. Can you please be more considerate in the future? Now, will they do anything? Probably not. And if they were to message me, say that, hey, dear Bob, I got this letter about my food, I would say, yeah, I would shove it up, tell them to go pound sand. If they don't like the smell, they can put a what's that? A clothespin on their nose. It's a tough situation. Might I suggest you bring in microwave popcorn, and every time they use the microwave or whatever to heat up their smelly food, you put that delicious butter microwave popcorn in the microwave, and their microwave popcorn smell will then take over. And then when they ask to have some popcorn, you say no. No. Then you make a trade. You will trade them microwave popcorn if they stop bringing in their, house special curry or whatever it is that they're making. It's an opportunity to make a deal. Dear Bob, hey man, I heard you sprouting your crap about my team and our car part extractors, saying you think you could stop us. Well, I got news for you, Chubby. We would kick your ass, steal your car, bust a nut in your hoe, and then throw the dirty towel in your face. Hakeem Abdul Mohammed. Incorrectly spelled on all levels. I don't have a car, so joke's on you, buddy. Dear Bob, why was the Apple store so hot inside? It was because they didn't install Windows. Dear Bob, the new Futurama teaser. Oh, thank you. I forgot all about it. Okay, new Futurama teaser, 17 seconds. New episodes on July 24th on Hulu. July 24th. So June, July, 2 months. 2 months from now. Hulu-rama. Hulu-rama. And we have Bender saying, oh yeah. We've got Santa back. Nibbler back. But Nibbler, why does Nibbler have orange eyes? Calculon and what's his face? And Mom. The flying... Are those Enterprise toasters? Zaf Brannigan. That's what I was talking. New season, July 24th on Hulu. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to watch, but obviously I'm going to watch, but Do I honestly think it's going to be even half as good as Futurama of the past? No, I don't. No, I don't. I have very little, what's that called? Very little appreciation. No, very little confidence. Thank you, I'm afraid. Very little confidence that Futurama is going to be a fraction of as good as it used to be. I hope I'm wrong, and I will most certainly do some type of review of it. But yeah, no, it's just not likely. Dear Bob, Jim the barber here. I used to cut your hair when you were a little boy and lived in Canarsie. No, you didn't, Jim, because I didn't have, your name wasn't Jim. I just wanted to reach out and say hello. I know why they have Mental Health Day for barbers, as you used to drive me nuts with your crying whenever I tried to give you a trim. You would always scream, "Don't cut my curls. The girls love my curls." You were a real bugger when you were little. I hope you are much better now with your haircuts that you are older. Jimmy the Barber, Enzo's Continental Barber Shop, 5918 Avenue N, Brooklyn. Well, Jimmy, that is not the barber shop I used. I used to go to Michelangelo's, and I forget the name of the barber, but it certainly wasn't Jimmy. It was a very Italian name. And I didn't cry about my curls. Mom O'Fray might have cried about them. Mom O'Fray would cry about my curls. And Stanley says Bird never had hair. Joke's on you. Oh no, I had such thick hair. Such thick hair. I am amazed how quickly, the hair grew so thick and so much of it. And for it to be gone, that it was gone by my 20s. It was pretty much gone by my 20s, and by my 30s, I was already years of trimming it down to nothing.
Yeah. Well, in the hospital.
And yeah, when I went in the hospital, I was 30. After a year of not cutting it, it was still light on top. But the hair that I had that grew was shoulder length. That I probably should have kept that. Probably should have kept it growing, but it was filthy. And I had a red beard. But the beard later, the beard went white. Dear Bob, why is it that you can drink a drink, but you don't food a food? I think that's just a problem with the English language. It's just a problem with the English language. It's like why you don't park in a driveway and why you drive on a parkway.
That is please.
Dear Bob, did you hear about the latest trend in internal decorations? Corduroy pillows are all the rage. They're making headlines everywhere. I have no idea. Dear Bob, why don't you write with a broken pencil? Because it's pretty pointless. Dear Bob, did you hear about the fire at the circus? It was intense. Dear Bob, how does Hitler tie his shoes? With little Nazis. Dear Bob, what do you call a bee who is having a bad hair day? A frisbee. Oh my God. Dear Bob, what game would you play with a wombat? Womda. Womda. I don't know about that. Dear Bob, what did the worker at the rubber band factory say when he lost his job? Oh, snap. Dear Bob, this is not the bird of prey you are looking for. No, you're correct. That is not the bird of prey I'm looking for. Dear Bob, is this the best way to catch toast when it pops? With a fork? No, no, no. Just catch it with your fingers. Or if you must, use a knife and spear it. Dear Bob, it's funny when it sounds like you're playing Wordle when trying to speak now. Maybe you're playing a little too much. I don't understand.
Make the hesitation.
The hesitation?
I don't.
I don't.
When you're trying to think of the word.
Gorilla says, Bird, can you sing happy birthday to Minnie in about 15 minutes? That was about 20 minutes ago. Gorilla, if it's okay now, I can sing happy birthday now. So is that to Minnie Gorilla or just Minnie? Let me know. Last son of K says Harvey Cthulhu is the father. Dan Ben says, I think the Instagram post has multiple pictures if you swipe. Well, to be honest, I just don't care. Stanley says, damn, I nearly got stuck on a Tokyo to Toronto flight sitting next to someone with the worst BO. Oh my God. Stanley says, I aimed the fan directly at me, but it barely helped. Luckily, the plane wasn't full, and I was able to change seats. And Stan Lee suggests burning the popcorn. Dan Ben says, sometimes deodorant can make people's underarms sting or burn. Doesn't matter. Don't go on a plane. If you don't have deodorant, don't go on a plane. If you can't put deodorant on, then don't fly. Last on the K, I worked with a 20-year-old lady with Indian lineage briefly when I was younger. Unfortunately, the aroma around her wasn't pleasant. I stayed quiet so it wouldn't offend her. Stanley says, did Bender come back? I heard he was holding out. It doesn't matter. There's 1,000 people that do the Bender voice. They're perfectly the same as Bender. Daniel's Hot Topics is Salty Tracker will like this Futurama. Will be back. I would say Salty has a half a chance of saying it's gonna suck. Dan Ben says, yes, the Bender voice actor will play Bender. Okay. So he is back. Gorilla says, hey, Bird, can you sing happy birthday to Minnie? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, it's okay. I'll pause it till he gets to the car. Minnie or Mini Gorilla. Okay. He's here now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, wait, sorry. Apologies. We're going to start over because it was on the Dear Bob screen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mini Gorilla. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Happy birthday, Mini Gorilla. How old are you, Mini Gorilla? How old? Stanley says, no solidarity from Bird for the voice actors. No, I am crossing the picket lines. I'm a total scab. Stanley says, like when the creator left Ren and Stimpy and the other guy just ended up doing both voices. Although, to be honest, I'm not writing any script. So I don't have to honor. I don't have any script to honor. You're 9. Happy 9th birthday, Minnie. Kapla. Kapla. Guys and gals, be on your best behaviors. Mini Gorilla is in the house. Many, many more. Absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Mama Frey also wishes you a happy birthday, Minnie. 9th birthday. You guys are welcome. He's got the 9 lives of a cat, says Mike and Suze. Well, let's hope he doesn't need them all. Antiderivative Jill also says happy birthday to Mini Gorilla. Everybody wishing Mini Gorilla a happy birthday. And Minnie says thanks to everyone. Awesome. Awesome. And with that, guys, I am going to call it an evening and have some dinner. And I will be back around later. See if anyone else is streaming. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And I will see you soon. Minnie says thanks to everyone. And Mikey Suze says hugs to Jill. Happy 400. Last Son of Kay says happy birthday, Minnie. And Antiderivative Jill says it's good to see you, Mikey. With that, Kapla all, Bird